No.
Hey, hello one, hello all. What's you now? It's just a chaos. I'm CP. Welcome to Trimester 3 of the Final Girls.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. Today we what was that bad taste? Really?
No.
I liked it.
Thank you.
I thought you were supposed to be a comedian.
No,
like you do.
I have a sense of humor, not a delivery of humor. I'll be playing the role of the crazed killer. Joining me, so I'm going to go my order. I have Emily to the left, Gory to the next, Kweeny, Lindsay, and Vicky. So that's the order I'm going to go in. First, Emily of Emily's Adventures in Horrorland. Say hi.
Hello. Is that enough?
you have to say a little bit longer just to keep the camera on you. You'd think you'd get this, but yes. And of course, Gory joining us specially. We have two moms for this.
I'm Gory B from Horror Addicts. It's a show. There's reviews on
it. All right. Kweeny Todd. Kweeny.
Yo.
Again, longer than two letters in the words, please.
Okay.
Hi. Yo. Yes. Hello. How are you?
I am hanging in there. Hanging tough.
That's good to hear. Lindsay, Mother Mayhem.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lindsay. I'm Mother Mayhem, and CP pays me to be here.
Don't cash those checks.
What money?
Not gonna be it again.
You don't have any money.
Yeah. Shh. It's just
you have a nest egg somewhere.
Just paper.
Oh, okay.
And of course, last but not least, Vicky from Nightmare Maven.
Okay. So hi. Hi, I'm Vicky, Nightmare Maven. It's a show too.
Yeah.
We all have shows.
Yeah. We all do shows.
We're very important.
We like
our
Borg.
same, like Borg.
You will be assimilated.
All right. So if you're in the chat, a special shout out and thank you to Joseph Lionel, who this show is basically his brainchild and his responsibility. Thank you, Joseph. Yes, Joseph, perhaps the biggest supporter in the horror community. Sorry, I'm trying to buy time while I load the chat. Hello, VHS Queen. Hello, Daniel. Daniel Hammond is like a pro at being in the chat.
Yeah.
Theo, what's up, Theo? Hey, wait. I keep doing that. I gotta give you a wrench. How do I add moderator?
Do I have a wrench?
The three little dots on the side.
I do.
Click on it. You can click add moderator.
Yeah, Queenie, how come you don't have a wrench? I thought I gave you a wrench last time. I gave you a wrench a long time ago.
No, I have one now.
Yay, wrench.
Sorry. I got wrench envy. I got lost. Darling Darkness, hello. Mary, long time no see. Welcome.
Hi, Mary.
Isabel, hello, everyone, and lovely ladies. Everyone and? Am I everyone?
Yeah.
Reality's an illusion. Hello. And we're caught up. Good. Okay, so today, the main topic, also in the chat, if there's something you want us to talk about later, if this doesn't run on too long, because talking about pregnancy and healthy topic right there. If we have something or time to get to it, by all means, throw it in the chat and we'll try to get to it later. Without further ado, pregnancy in horror. Guys, what are some of your more prominent films to feature pregnancy or allude to pregnancy in horror? Emily, again, I'll go from my left over.
There's gonna be nothing left for you, Vicky.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, I agree with everybody.
So we watched Inside recently. That's pretty prominently about pregnancy. Another French movie.
French.
Oh, those French.
You like French?
Yeah, they like to do some nasty stuff to women in those French movies. Gory.
Oh gosh, there's so many. Rosemary's Baby is.
Well, don't steal everybody's thunder. Rosemary's Baby. Go ahead.
Okay, one that probably a lot of people haven't seen is Baby Blood, which is also a French movie and is brilliant. Let's say, Prevenge just came out. That had a killer baby. And one of my favorites, The Suckling.
Ooh.
the suckling about the aborted fetus that comes
that
back
sounds
for
awful.
revenge. It's amazing.
I'm an aborted abortion.
That makes sense now.
Should we call you the suckling? I mean, I will if you
We
are.
will now.
Yeah. New nickname.
Oh, and like Daniel just said, also the Alien movies, because I've been pregnant and those rang true.
Yeah. There's 5 of you. I was gonna hope that one of you would get to it, but yes, thank you. Oh wow, Darling Darkness asked to pronounce. Emily, you see that? Go ahead, Miss French.
Is what, sorry?
In the chat, Darling Darkness, can no one at least try to pronounce L-I?
Oh,
L'interieur.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, there's a
I
bunch
didn't
of
hear her
that
say it. Do it again.
Do it again.
Who? Me?
Yeah, yeah, you.
All right. It's à l'intérieur.
À l'intérieur.
Can you do that accent this whole stream? Because it's kind of cool.
Yeah, actually, can you give your responses in French? That'd be really fun.
Oh, there you go.
I won't understand any of them unless you're ordering a croque monsieur, which I know I pronounced wrong.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like 3 months of French.
That sandwich with cheese and stuff.
Yeah.
Croque Madame has an egg, I think. or
Yeah,
something?
which just sounds disgusting. It's a grilled cheese sandwich with an egg in it. I digress.
No, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Queenie, did we get to you?
Not yet.
All right, well, holla.
Holla holla. Well, I would go with The Void since there's 2 fucking scary pregnancies.
Whoops.
Really?
So scary. Like
The Void, that was fairly recent, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Man,
and
I have-
it's really good. It's a really good movie.
I've heard. Lindsay.
Grace is one that I enjoy.
Yes.
And Inside was going to be another one that I was going to bring up because,
All right, well, we could start with that.
Yeah. Damn you, Emily.
Vicky, lastly but not leastly.
What am I gonna say? The only one that I can think of that no one else has mentioned is Proxy. That's a pretty messed up one.
Yep.
It's a pretty fucked up one in terms of pregnancy.
Okay, so we'll
Also, The Omen.
Oh,
yeah.
really? That's kind of.
Yeah,
Does the
she
birth
has,
count? I haven't seen that.
Quiet
she
Place.
has her baby taken away from her.
Oh, yeah, now you get.
She's led to believe that she gave birth to Satan's offspring.
Yeah, but that was.
But
That
she's
wasn't-
pregnant the first part of the movie.
Really? Is it that long?
Even if it's just in there for a moment, it's like the consequential events afterwards that are also just as terrifying as
Well, yeah,
pregnancy is.
because they have to kill their own kid, which is horrific.
Yeah.
So somebody brought up if we're gonna allow moments of pregnancy and horror, somebody brought up the Dawn of the Dead remake.
Yeah.
With,
I was going to talk about that one. Damn it.
Oh yeah.
There was another one where it didn't have too much pregnancy in it, but there was a scene. Were we talking about it before, Emily, or is it?
There was the beginning of Orphan, which you haven't seen in a while. The Fly has a pregnancy horror moment in it.
Mm-hmm.
There's V, the original series with the twins. Nobody?
Oh, V, right?
Never watched it.
Yeah, old school shit. So to start off with Inside, which is something that I've only seen recently. That's I guess general thoughts on it as a movie and how pregnancy plays into it. Emily.
Why don't we start with Vicky this time?
All right, so I'll go backwards. How about that? You get to go last and just say, yeah, I agree.
Emily, my girl.
Vicky.
Always have to go last. Okay.
Oh, Daniel Hammond says we need to talk about Kevin. I haven't seen yet.
That's a really
That's
good
a hard movie.
I've heard
Yeah.
some things. Yeah.
one. The book is quite good too. Just not out there.
Inside, Vicky.
Inside. No, you're okay. I really enjoy that movie. I mean, it's just simplistic. I love the home invasion aspect of it, and you can kind of even go as far to say it's invading the womb in more than one way, because obviously the woman is trying to get into her stomach literally to get the baby out, and like the home can kind of be seen as the womb. It's a very like motherly, earthly thing, the home.
It's her nest.
Lots of
Her nest.
symbolism,
Yes,
metaphors,
exactly. I really love that about the movie. So it's like more than one way. So not only is she, you know, breaking in physically, but mentally as well. And they both lost their families. The two women. I'm sorry, we're probably going to spoil.
Oh, it's way too late for that.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to say, before I mentioned, they both lost something. The woman is trying to get back her lost child from the car crash at the beginning of the movie, which is like heart-wrenching. And it's almost like a conflict within the movie too. Like you kind of understand the woman a little bit, but at the same time, like what she's doing is also not right. I don't know. I really like this movie. There's a lot going on with it.
Lindsay.
Yeah, no, like segueing off of what Maven was just saying is that like it is terrifying and it's pretty realistic, although I will say that there is one scene that is totally unrealistic, but we can get into that if we want to do more of that. But what she was saying about like how you almost feel like sympathy and like mild empathy for the woman. Like the first time I saw that movie, I was like, that bitch be crazy. And then when I watched it again when I was pregnant, and like you feel that, like you feel her loss, and what she's doing is horrible, but she's obviously lost her mind, and she was very likely a normal citizen, like member of society beforehand. And that kind of loss would drive someone to be, and it can drive someone to be that insane.
It's a nice bit of misdirection in the beginning too with the car accident. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you.
No. Yeah, they're two totally different experiences watching that movie. Love it so much.
Queenie.
A lot of movies that I love tend to be things you can watch over and over again and then get like different messages from. So this one is definitely one of those. But for me, I can't have children, so I'm barren basically, and I'm okay with it because I don't really want to have children. But part of it is because I have a phobia that's like a really real phobia of pregnancy and everything just going wrong because I'm pregnant. So watching this poor woman go through this trauma of this woman like cutting into her, like, oh, that scene is too much for me. Okay, like it wigs me the fuck out. I just want to check out of the movie right there. I'm just like, okay, nope, that's the nope button. You know, but I force myself to watch it because I'm a masochist.
Because I hate myself.
I hate myself. I'm gonna watch this shit and be terrified. So I have a good time with that movie.
What about you, Gory?
I have to agree with like what everyone else has said. Like it's one you can empathize with both characters, because I am a mother, and you know I definitely felt both. Because I mean, if I lost my son, I don't even know that I could breathe anymore. So I can imagine that completely changing who you are as a human being. I think for me, the other fear of it is when you're pregnant, there's some security that your baby is always with you. Like I need to talk to my son all the time, and he's always there. And I just felt like he was safe and nothing could happen to him. And the idea that someone
That's what the woman says, isn't it? When, you know, he's inside me, nothing can happen.
And then somebody comes along and they were going to literally rip them out of you. That sounds terrifying. And it also relates to fears of pregnancy where like you're afraid of what happens next. Like you build a relationship with your baby when you're pregnant and you're like, is this going to continue when they're a baby? Like you're afraid of what happens when they leave you. And I think also another fear I had was the idea of a human being that's like 8 pounds coming out of a hole that's like this big. And so I think it kind of plays with that fear as well, because she's got scissors and she's coming at you. So
it's a modified C-section. It's all it is.
Yeah, especially if you're in for a C-section. I think that movie's going to get you.
Well, does experience change? Like, I mean, granted, this movie came out after you were already a mother, but like something like Rosemary's Baby. Has experience changed the way you view a movie like that?
The biggest one for me was Alien, where I used to just be like, oh, this is great. Acid blood and creatures. I started bawling when I was pregnant. I'm like, oh, no. I don't want it to come out. Just keep it in there.
I had a totally opposite reaction watching Alien, because like I used to take videos of my belly when like he'd be moving around and like the whole thing is like rippling and you can see an elbow come out, and I'm like, it's like a little baby xenomorph. And I thought of it affectionately.
A lot of things are the hormones too. Like, I'm not a big crier. I don't cry during movies. I get moved, but I don't just bawl. I bawled during Scooby-Doo the movie because it was so beautiful how they were working all together to defeat the bad guys.
Peanut butter and pickle sandwich. Yep.
I bawled during Cabin Fever because I couldn't believe that she was sick and she needed them to take care of her, and they're putting her in a goddamn shed.
Emily, what do you got left for us for Inside? Your thoughts?
Well, I don't plan on being pregnant myself unless my sister needs a surrogate. Then I'd go in for it. I maybe wouldn't do all 5 of the kids that she wants, but you know.
I don't think you can you do surrogacy if you haven't had a child. I don't think that they'll allow you.
Really?
Oh,
yeah,
but you
darn.
need to.
I know in Canada you can't, and I'm pretty positive in the US you can't, because there's too many like variables of whether you'd have a complicated pregnancy or not.
But
Right.
Phoebe did it on Friends. Friends wouldn't lie to me.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'll have to check up on that. I've heard of people giving birth to their nieces and nephews, so I assumed it was a thing that you could anyway.
Well, that's just
So I don't know if I sympathize with the main character so much, but I don't feel any amount of sympathy for the woman who just comes storming in like it's, you know, her right to have this child. I don't know. It's easy enough for her. She can carry on wearing a dress and her corsets and not ruin her body. And it's, like, there's a whole amount of pain she hasn't gone through. Like the pregnancy, it's an initiation, right? It's something. I don't know. I feel like that's very intrusive, and it's bypassing one of the more important parts of the child having. I think that's what makes it so atrocious.
Did anybody else get like a really dark Hand That Rocks the Cradle vibe from that movie?
Oh yeah.
Just another one of my favorites.
And I feel like the woman is so crazy. She doesn't want that woman's kid. It's just she wants her kid and she can't get her kid. And this woman's responsible. So it's almost kind of a revenge thing too. But she's insane. You know, I don't think that she's really thought this out. I think she's just angry. And this is the person that caused that pain.
Yeah.
And having a baby will make it better. So she's like, okay, this is how I solved my situation. Obviously,
you took my baby, so now I take yours.
Yes, a baby for a baby. It's the new eye for an eye.
Eye for an eye.
Lindsay, what did you want to get into? You kind of stopped yourself?
Oh, what about the unrealistic part of it?
Yes. Because
it was like, and this is so nitpicky, but they did so well throughout that movie that I couldn't believe that they went that extra step that obviously would have taken more work to make it unrealistic. And that's after she's opened her stomach and taken out the baby. And it looks like this like intact like eggshell that's been like split open. It's not how it works. Like you still have your belly afterwards, but it's not a hard thing. Like it's very squishy. It would have just been like blobs of fat falling down at her side sort of thing. And I hated that it was like this like intact, like cracked open egg. That drove me nuts.
Yeah,
but
she would have
everything
bled
else.
out. But
Yeah, there would have been more blood.
Well, what about the cops? I felt like the cops were just so idiotic in that movie.
it's a horror movie. That's like,
Don't you live in the US?
You go to a academy for horror. They're like everything they teach you at the other school, like not the Cool Police Academy school with Steve Guttenberg. Everything in that one, no. Just like eat donuts and don't do shit and be really confused. You're in horror movie academy now, bitch.
They gave the guy who was in custody a gun. It was just like, wait, what?
But wouldn't you be confused walking into that situation? I would be a little confused.
I'd call for backup.
Dude had been rioting and was just all of a sudden in this war zone that he's not prepared for.
Yeah.
All right, we're
Like,
going to
you
give
don't
you a
go over
gun.
that in the academy.
No,
Have you guys seen the remake?
No.
Mm-mm.
no, not yet.
Okay, it's okay. I won't even bring that up. It has a different ending, but it's kind of garbage. It's the American
that's a
remake.
shocker that America remade a French movie and just shit
It just they wanted to do the she bests her at the end, but she's got a cheesy one-liner, and I don't think there should be a happy ending. I don't think in this situation there is one because of everything that it's supposed to represent. I think it's supposed to end in tragedy.
There is one moment where our main character is standing there with the homemade spear and the big pregnant belly sticking out, and she looks absolutely savage. And you kind of think, yeah, she's going to tear the woman a new one, but then ultimately doesn't. But for that one moment, she looked pretty badass.
That woman is fucked up by the end of it. Like, I remember watching that. I'm like, no, they're gonna bring this home any second now. But no, that's a wrestling thing. They're gonna end the fight pretty soon. But no, they just keep going.
The French typically don't like happy endings.
Yeah, I'm learning that
No,
quickly.
anything.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Have you guys? Oh, I don't want to change the subject, but later on, I want to ask you guys if you've seen Baby Blood, because also French and amazing.
Yeah. No.
I'll add it to the list.
No. Yeah, we should be watching it relatively soon, Emily.
It's on. I believe I found a link where someone was sharing it online for free.
Yar.
Hey, you're not downloading it. That's not illegal.
Oh, okay.
If somebody posts it on the internet and you happen to watch
My
it,
attorney Gory said it's okay.
your hands are clean. I'll be all y'all's attorney.
Yeah. So, has anybody else seen the American remake?
None of this one now.
Wow. So, does blood have any sort of representation in this movie? Because it's fucking gory.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, there's a lot of blood in this movie. Is that? Do you think that's symbolism? Do you think it's just the French being French about gore, or what?
It just goes kind of hand in hand with like home invasion
Really?
sort of thing, right? Like home invasion attack sort of idea. Like this girl, it goes with like relentlessness. This woman just would not give up. And I mean,
I think you would empathize with this too because you've had a kid. But one of the things you're most afraid
what I
of,
have?
you know what I'm talking about, girl. One of the things you're most afraid of when you're pregnant is seeing blood because you're not having a period anymore. And if you see blood, that means something's wrong, generally, or you're sorry to get have a baby. But I have a aunt who had 6 miscarriages, and just any kind of blood like that, she would panic because that would mean she was losing her baby. So
I read an article recently that suggested that women who have had children are less likely to be squeamish. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but
Probably a little.
after
you've seen that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yes, Joseph, that is the same attorney, by the way. Queenie, any thoughts on the blood excessive? For
Not
anything?
really. Like I think it's like everyone said, a little bit of the French flavor, how they do films, and a little bit of home invasion kind of thing. But yeah, like I don't think there's just so much blood in this film that it's almost ridiculous.
Right. So the French
Almost.
Right. The French did what we call them, but Emily, what's it really called?
Il,
Yeah, that.
with an S.
one more time.
Emily?
Hmm?
One more
I didn't
time.
hear you.
With an S. E-L-I-L.
Damn, I keep talking when you're saying it. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet now. Ready? I'm ready.
Il.
Did you hear it?
No.
Kind of heard it.
Ew.
I want Emily to teach me
It's a very
French.
short
I know.
word. That's all.
Yeah, ew, it's ILS. What?
Sorry, the dogs.
Oh.
Oh, poor Lindsay had a jump scare. That's what happened when you have all that darkness
Oh,
behind you.
don't scare me like that. Now I'm gonna keep picturing things coming up behind her. Thank you, CP.
Just a nun. Just
Oh my God, no.
Random side note. I'm so disappointed I didn't get the jump scare ad when it was up. I was like, what? There was a jump scare ad and I didn't get it? Bullshit.
oh, really? Vicky, another movie to talk about with pregnancy.
Okay, let's see. What were the other ones that people mentioned? What's a good one to talk about? I mean, I guess Rosemary's Baby is probably a good one. Everyone has seen that one, right? I'm just trying to think of one that everyone has seen, though, to talk about. Rosemary's Baby? We cool with that? I mean, that one kind of takes on a different tone than Inside. Because if you think about it, everything is happening kind of within the home, and it's this intimate thing that's happened between these two women that they share, this car crash and this loss. And Rosemary's Baby is kind of the opposite. If you think about it, it's everything on the outside of Rosemary trying to affect her pregnancy. She's got her crazy Satan worshiping neighbors, her husband that just wants to be famous, and everybody telling her all these things, feeding her all these things. And it's all about the external forces that are affecting her pregnancy instead of what's happening inside, if that makes sense.
Lindsay.
Even also, I'm just going to keep piggybacking you, Vicky.
Double for me.
She was saying, like, talking about like the outside influences, though, is incredibly realistic. Like, not so much the witches and devil worshipping and all that kind of stuff, but that when you're pregnant, everyone has an opinion.
Oh, fucking God, yeah.
To help, and you should be eating this and eat more, and here's this, and oh, you should be drinking this tea, and
Sweetheart,
don't
maybe less
that.
heroin, huh?
Yeah. But it like, if you think about it that way, watching the film, like, sure, like, she has her like suspicions about things like being a little weird, a little off, but for the most part, like, yeah, like, she would allow a lot of this stuff to happen because it's kind of just the norm of pregnancy, that, like, which shouldn't be the norm, but that you have to take and listen to everyone's advice and just smile.
Yeah, women have always got to be nice.
We do.
Yeah. Queenie didn't get that memo.
I did not get that memo.
What about you, Queenie? What would you get from Rosemary's Baby?
One of the things that I really love about Rosemary's Baby is the end. I love how everything builds up in the movie to that end. That end just, like, shatters everything, and you're just
got
like,
his father's eyes.
yeah. And her just kind of processing everything and then kind of going, I can still do this. Yeah. You know, it's like, oh shit. So that's what I love about Rosemary's Baby, is that fucking ending. It's so good. Yeah, it's still my baby. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm just going to dissociate for a while. It's cool.
Oh, man.
Gory.
Yeah, like Queenie said, it's the ending. That I think one of the biggest horrors of Rosemary's Baby is you keep thinking the horror is coming from outside, but really the horror is her. She has given birth to the Antichrist, and she loves it. You know, and it makes you realize that every monster we've ever seen in the world, you know, Hitler, Stalin, any of these guys, yeah, they have mothers, and their mothers probably still love them, even if they don't agree with them. And that's the
fucked up somewhere along the line too.
Yeah,
probably. But that's the scariest part about it, is she's so terrified about outside things, and really the scariest thing is that she is prepared to raise the son of the devil, even though she was raped by the devil, even though all these people have manipulated her, even though she's been the victim up until this point. At this point, at the end of that movie, she is deciding that she's going to be the one to help the Antichrist become a man.
Yep.
That's terrifying.
Yep.
Emily, scraps. What do you got?
Well, first of all, apparently World War II, there was a controversial song around called Even Hitler Had a Mother. So that's a fun fact for you. And I like the movie a lot because it plays into the body horror aspect almost. For the first couple months, Rosemary is very sickly. Her health is deteriorating, or because of the horrible thing that's happening to her. And again, there's the external force of the interfering neighbors. So I think it works on a couple levels. I don't know why there's so much yellow in the film. I don't know what that represents, if anything, but there is a lot of yellow.
That's true.
Well, and color therapy, colors like yellow and orange are supposed to elicit anxiety in people, just like red increases your heartbeat and blue is supposed to calm you down. That's what you see in prisons and psych wards. So it's probably just the filmmaker's way of increasing anxiety in the viewer.
Good job, Gory. Thank you. That wasn't sarcasm. No need for the silence.
It's actually Gory had brought up there an interesting thought though, and I had just been talking about it like a few days ago, like talking about like a mother's love for their child, and like no matter what, like there's still like that kind of connection, and I think that that's the way that like it's supposed to be, and it's not always that way. We all probably know someone who isn't that way, but it's like when you watch it as a mother, you feel that and like you question that, and you wonder if this were to be happening to me, would I follow suit just like her? In one of my videos from a while ago, it was kind of like a based on true events sort of situation from a murder that happened in New York, and there was interviews with the mother of the killer and how she still visits him regularly, and they at one point had a suicide pact, and like it's heartbreaking because she loves her son so much, and no matter what, she's going to look at him and still see this little baby, like her baby boy, and like that kind of connection. So like that guy murdered someone. This guy's just going to grow up to be the Antichrist.
There's a reason we have that phrase, a face only a mother could love. I mean, your mom can see past anything.
Yeah. It makes me wonder if that's a good or bad ending to Rosemary's Baby. Like they're using her maternal instincts against her, like some kind of emotional blackmail kind of thing. Or if she's using it to reclaim her son from the devil worshippers. I never know which way I feel about it.
And if you've read the book by Ira Levin, a part of it too is, you know, and there's sequels too, Rosemary is like, yeah, he's the devil, but he's also me. Like she keeps kind of like hanging on to that. Like, well, he's half normal human person. There's a chance, right?
He's Blade.
Yes. He's the damn pair of evil. What?
Satan is such a deadbeat dad.
I know, right?
Where's my child support, Satan?
Damn it, Satan! Not today.
Do you think the movie plays against the I guess this is a question more for Gory and Lindsay. The whole fear and anxiety of the pregnancy and worrying about, I guess, just having a healthy child, and perhaps, you know, having the spawn of Satan's a bit of extreme, but do you think that the movie plays into that at all? Like the what ifs while you're pregnant, or fears, or anybody? Stop looking at me, mouths agape, please.
I don't know if that movie necessarily would. Like I know that there's definitely a lot of other horror films that start leading into that, but I don't know if I get it.
Like,
oh
right?
no, 100%. Yeah. Like the things that can go wrong, and every single like cramp that you get, you're convinced in your head, like this is it, it's happening. But I don't know if I got that from Rosemary's Baby.
Okay.
And I did watch that when I was pregnant too, because like I watched so many of them while I was pregnant because I love to do those things to myself.
To me.
It's about me.
It didn't affect me that one didn't affect me much differently when I was pregnant than it has in the 25 years that I've watched it previously. But that might just be me. I don't know.
Gory?
It's very strange when you're pregnant. Like I didn't know my son. I called him Freckle. I talked to him all the time. I remember when he was born, I'm like, are you sure you're the same guy? You know, because it was so different to hold him. And even when he was a baby, I couldn't picture him as a teenager, and I still have a hard time picturing him as an adult. And I think not so much the health, but the fear of what kind of person is your kid going to be? What are you bringing into this world? You know, because it's so hard to see past, you know, the pregnancy. And then even when you have a baby, to see past, well, it's just a baby. It couldn't hurt anybody.
Vicky, anything?
I mean, I can't speak on that level. I mean, I think it's interesting to hear Lindsay's and Gory's point of view, because as I'm listening to them, it's so different from when I watched the movie. I'm so concerned with everybody nitpicking at Rosemary and controlling everything. And I'm focused on the fact that like she tries to throw a party, like to make herself seem normal. She cuts her hair because that's like the only thing that she can control at that point. And that's what I'm focused on. And it's just interesting to hear the perspective of like, you know, at the end of the movie, she still loves her child. And I normally don't get that from watching the movie. And I think that's just something that comes.
You will now.
I know. Yeah. Next time I watch it.
Queenie, don't mind that dog. Speaking of spawn of Satan, that's the downstairs neighbor's dog.
What, more about Rosemary? I like that she was trying to be normal, you know? And at the end when she has to make that decision to like cross that line, you just see it in her eyes and she just goes, yep, this is okay now. That's like, I love that.
This is the hand I've been dealt.
Yeah, like we've all been in situations where we have to just look at the situation itself and go, am I okay with this? Am I really okay with this? Sometimes we say yes.
I just had a thought, though, if you want to see this as a happy ending, right? One of the things I really like in Rosemary's Baby is everyone is telling her basically that she doesn't know anything. You know, drink this thing, it'll make you better. Everyone's treating her like they know better than her. And then at the end of it, they're like, ta-da! You're the mother of the Antichrist. Go and hold your baby. Like, they're like saying, here are the reins. You're the mama. You take it from here. And that's kind of a happy ending.
Ben in the chat.
She just kind of snaps a little bit and goes, yeah, okay.
Sure.
Let's do it.
Ben in the chat has an interesting question. Is it nature versus nurture? In other words, if you have the Antichrist, does it have to grow up to be the Antichrist?
Well, I think that Gory kind of addressed that a little bit, like saying like that she recognizes that there's still her in there.
Yeah. And
she could change things. What was it that Little Evil?
Yes, I was gonna say Little Evil.
Yeah, like he's supposed to be, but the love of the stepdad kind of, you know, brings him around. There's your happy ending. Granted, it's a comedy, but
well, even The Omen too. Damien has no memory of anything that happened to him as a child. He doesn't know he's the Antichrist, and he's horrified up until the end by everything that's happening. If you look at the TV show Supernatural, there's also a child in there that they find out is the Antichrist, and he has no idea. And at the end, they determine that they don't even need to kill him; they're just going to send him away because he hasn't made that decision to be evil yet, and they believe there's hope.
Luke and Leia Skywalker.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
I
just had to bring Star Wars up somehow. I'm sorry.
Of course.
Halloween.
Oh, boo.
If you say it 3 times, does he come through the mirror?
No, Lee will drop in the chat, Matt.
Yeah,
I'm watching for him now. Is Lee
literally
here?
everybody from Killer Flicks comes over. That's the person that you say 3 times.
I was just imagining The Omen 2, but it's a musical, and he has his own like Defying Gravity musical number where he reclaims being evil.
When you're evil.
He does that in part 3 for sure.
As Samuel? Wow.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
Well,
He's the only one I haven't seen.
He doesn't sing a musical number, but he definitely is like at a certain point, he's like, you know what? I'm the fucking devil's son, bitch.
What?
Wait, what? Sam Neill's in Omen 3?
Yeah.
Is it 3 or 4?
I don't think I've seen Omen 3.
Part 4 is the Antichrist's niece, the Omen the Awakening.
See, this is why we have you here.
Yeah.
Gotta provide something. You're probably the only person who owns Omen the Awakening on DVD. It's not even good enough to be part of the box set.
Ooh. Yeah, there's a bunch of those, though. Lindsay, another pregnancy horror.
Oh, I already gave one.
No, to kind of.
Actually, I would like to, like, it's another one of those ones like where it barely shows up in the film, and it's kind of like an afterthought for most people when they watch it. But now, having been pregnant and been like now I'm a mother, it hits me completely differently. Is Friday Part 3. Because I remember, like, growing up, I never really thought about her being pregnant. It wasn't like, oh, yeah, I guess I changed my mind. I'll take that beer. And, like, you don't think about that kind of stuff because she's not really acting pregnant. But now when I watch it, I'm like, he just killed a pregnant woman. Jason is a dick.
Who's pregnant in Friday 3?
Debbie is.
Yeah.
She's the guy.
The one in the hammock that gets killed in the hammock.
Boyfriend
And
is
her
the one who
boyfriend
gets
gets
killed upside down.
Yeah.
He's on a handstand.
Mm.
She's like, she won't smoke the weed. Like, are you kidding? I'm pregnant. And
Oh.
It's
Yeah,
like kind of barely
I
mentioned
don't
in
think
the
he-
beginning when they're in the van.
Yeah, I must have glazed over that.
yeah, no, like there's growing up, it like I recognized that she was pregnant, but it was never like a big deal sort of thing. But like now I'm like, now I feel really, really sad. Like she had a little baby growing in her, and like you don't care about her getting killed, but suddenly I'm like, there was a tiny little baby that Jason just
is
sniffed
very
out.
protective of children, though, and she right before she is killed asked for a beer. So I can see Jason in his weird, crazy crystallic brain going,
Oh,
"Bitch,
yeah.
you don't be drinking when you're pregnant."
Yeah. There's the
God
lesson.
damn it, has some thought.
Baby had such a bright
Flawless
future.
logic.
Kweeny.
Do you want me to talk about like a movie about pregnancy?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you like.
So, The Void. I know I talk about this movie all the time. I did a review of it like long ago when I was still learning how to do reviews, and I love this movie because one, it's all like kind of Cthulhu mythos flavored with a bit of Hellraiser flavor in there for good measure, and all the characters are really interesting, and all the women get fucking pregnant or are pregnant and are fucking like carrying evil creature babies. They're not like having normal pregnancies here. We're having like, I'm talking tentacles, I'm talking like awesome creature effects, because the effects in this film are so good that you feel when her stomach explodes into tentacles and she's still alive. She's on this gurney and she's just still alive, and oh, look at me. You know, she's out of her fucking mind because she's had this experience. Not just a pregnancy, but a horrific monster pregnancy. Like, this is all my nightmares in one, like, one movie. And it happens twice. Okay? There's, like, another character, and she's pregnant, and she's playing, like, the innocent young girl pregnancy thing up until the end where you realize everything's crazy. Here we go. We're going to open a portal now. We need someone to die and be the sacrificial. Well, of course, the pregnant girl, right? Like, the young, pretty pregnant girl. She gets ripped apart too. So, poor women.
Another monster pregnancy, technically, is Slither.
Oh, right. Oh.
Which is kind of, I'm not gonna lie, it's an accurate depiction of how you feel.
When that big. Yeah, when you're that big. Yeah. She's just like a giant.
It just won't stop hurting.
It hurts and I'm hungry.
So
Has anybody seen It's Alive?
Yes. All three of them.
That's fucking nightmarish.
Island of the Alive, guys. That's the true treasure.
What? What's the true treasure?
Oh, part 3, they go to an island. Island of the Alive.
I love the cover of that one. It's so good. Hands like just hanging out of the bassinet on the beach.
Oh yeah,
that's logical.
What's the premise of it? I mean, I have a vague idea. Shut up, dog.
Creepy mutant baby with like long, like 3 like talon fingers, or is there 4? I can't remember, but yeah, creepiest tiny little baby, and it's really fast. And it like scurries. The first one was terrifying when I watched it as a child, like at like 4 or 5 years old, and then I rewatched it when I was like 20. And it's terrible.
Yeah, that's the gate for me.
I love me some killer baby movie. That's my shit.
Bad. Like I always remembered like the milkman scene with like the pink milk, and like I was so scared when I was a kid, and yeah, watching it as I was an adult, I was like, was it always this boring, or did they change it?
So I want to kind of take the flip side of the Rosemary's Baby discussion here for a split second. I'm sorry. Somebody brought up a Alien movie, but it wasn't this one. Alien 3, at the end, Ripley knows that she's about to give birth to a demon seed version of a xenomorph and decides to jump herself into a big vat of fire. How do you guys feel? The mothers, how do you guys feel about that?
Well, Lindsay mentioned, there was one mom who had a suicide pact with her kid. I mean, sometimes I think people recognize that their kids are evil, but that doesn't mean that they could handle living in a world without them. Also, not all mothers are me and Lindsay. There are some pretty bad fucking moms out there. There's also, things like postpartum depression that can make you kind of crazy. I knew one woman who she had a daughter, and she got really jealous when you're pregnant, the attention's all on you, but she got really jealous whenever the baby got attention afterwards. And, I didn't understand that at all, but we're not all the same. And there are people out there who are kind of messed up and want to take their kids out of this world. So in Ripley's case, she was kind of right. I'm just saying.
However, in
redeemed herself in part 4. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
She still has to the end of part 4, but she still has like a little bit of that connection there. Like she sees herself in her child and all of that sappy shit.
Oh, what if it's like how some people get scared, right? They get scared of pregnancy, of being a mom, their responsibilities, who their kid's going to be. So they debate abortion, and possibly that's part 3. But in part 4, it's like, then you meet your kid and you're just like, how they tell you like when you want to have a surrogacy or adoption that you shouldn't hold your baby because you'll bond with it. Like even just for a few moments, you'll bond, and then part 4.
And then still snuff out your baby afterwards.
Well, I mean, it was still a fucked up baby. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right, I'm probably going too crazy with this. You guys.
No, it's interesting to hear theories. I mean, it's like Maven said before, like without proper experience, you view something with some sort of set of eyes. Yes?
Your audio's kind of...
Yeah. I thought it was just the demon dogs. I wasn't going to question it.
It could be. They have
Well,
powers.
I can talk from a position of knowing a mother who didn't want to be a mother. My own mother. She was a drug addict. She was messed up. She had some mental illness issues that weren't being taken care of, and she did not want me. She she would threaten things like, "Oh, I wish I had aborted you," and she used to beat the crap out of me, and did not act like someone who would want to have a child. She treated me like I was a burden, and like people like that shouldn't have kids, but they do. They still do, and they exist.
It's crazy. You don't have to be qualified to be a mother, do you? You have to be 30 years old to decide, I don't want any. But at 16, hey, go nuts.
You have to take a test to drive a car, but they will literally, like, just within hours of delivering this other human life, just send you home. The most unexperienced people on the planet, just like, here you go, good luck.
But mom and dad really hits on what Queenie's talking about. There are people who, it's just like replacement culture, getting the new iPhone. Well, having a kid makes some people feel like their kid is the new iPhone and they're just being replaced, and that kid has stolen their youth. That kid has stolen their opportunities. That kid is the reason why their life is pretty much over.
That is what my mother would tell me, that I ruined her life because she had me really young. She was 18 years old. She wasn't ready to have a kid. The person she was in love with left her with me. He just left her, so she was bitter and she put it all on me. And so she treated me like shit.
Well,
some people should. Oh, thank you. Thank you guys. I'm just saying it to bring it up as a point, that there are other perspectives. So I got that one, unfortunately.
And it happens a lot. You see it far more often than it really should ever happen.
Yep.
My mom wasn't like that, but my dad was Catholic and my mom got pregnant, and even though it was a mistake that happened on a first date with a girl he barely knew, that meant they had to get married, and they were very, very unhappy, and my father was always quick to remind me that it was my fault.
Yeah. Yep. There you go.
Is Vicky, are you still there? You're like all frozen down there. Oh, there you go. Now you're moving.
Oh, okay. I was just listening.
You did it with your powers.
CP, I don't know if we can hear you. Try saying something.
I can't hear him. Fix him, Emily. Wait, no, Lindsay, use your powers.
I don't have any of those.
Powers.
I left them in my other purse.
Damn it, I hate when that happens.
My other purse is not my purse. You know what I'm saying, Lindsay? Hide stuff into the movie theater. You can do that after you've had a kid.
Is that CP?
Yes.
Much better. Yeah, we hear you.
Are we ASMR? Damn it, Lindsay! Stop reading my mind.
Oh
Dude,
gosh,
we
you
got
guys
that
know what else
connection
just came to
going
mind?
on.
It's because we're Canadians, right? We have like the Canadian.
You know what else just came to mind? In The Ring, in the American remake, which is very, very good. The mom says how she wanted her so much. She wanted her more than anything. But when she realized that Samara wasn't right, you know, she crushes her over the head with a rock and throws her down a well and then kills herself because she can't bear the pain. But
Like you do.
yeah. It's kind of the opposite of Rosemary's Baby.
Well,
She still loves her, but she feels Samara does not belong in the world.
Isn't there a wide scope of movies that cover all ends of the spectrum there? I mean, like technically Friday the 13th, you know, Pamela's kid, Jason, had a little bit of issue and she just
That's what I relate to, you know. Now that I'm a mom, I'm just like, yeah, they failed her damn kid. They're the ones who done fucked up, and they're going to open this camp again where they didn't even properly train the fucking counselors over my dead body. You know, she loved her kid. She's trying to work as a single mom. She trusts them to watch her kid for 15 fucking minutes to just not drown, and they can't even do that right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Bitches be killed. I also relate I relate to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Again, the remake had a really great line where she's talking about, you know, someone's mentioning like the victims, and she's like, what about me? What about my boy? You know, her boy has had struggles. Her boy has, you know, been born with difficulty. I have a kid with special needs. And I understand my son has been bullied for all the wrong things, you know, just stupid shit. My son has a life-threatening condition, and he's been bullied for his voice because he has a high-pitched voice. It's like, seriously, pull your head out of your ass and focus on something that matters. And it's mostly been adults, not children, which is disturbing. So, yeah, when the school comes at me and they're like, well, you need to get your kid all these things to protect other kids from him, which shows their lack of understanding of what he has. Part of me is like, what about my son? What about his needs? You know, so I watch Leatherface and I see that. I see that she's a mom who has a kid with special needs, and she really only cares about doing what's best for her family. Fuck everybody else, because nobody gave a shit about them.
Yep.
We seem to have lost CP. Hopefully he comes back in a sec.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Will we last for very long?
Yeah. Do you think that Pamela Voorhees gave the speech about how a young boy drowned to everybody she kills? I haven't seen all the movies, but she seems to single out Alice in the first one.
I think she follows tradition and just uses it as a climax for her last one. Like, she spent the whole day not talking to anybody, and she's like, oh my God, I just need to get this off my chest before I kill you. Can I just vent?
Yeah, I agree, because the movie's shot in first-person point of view, from Pamela's point of view, when she's doing the killing. We're within her point of view, and we see them die, and so she doesn't say anything.
Yeah, there's no megaphone or anything.
I think it's just like, you know, at the end of your day, you know, when you get home and you're tired and you're fucking like, you throw off your bra and you kick off your shoes and you just want to talk to somebody about how shitty things have been. I think that's it, dude.
Yeah.
After a long day of murdering, I guess it makes sense.
It's hard murdering, you know, it's very physical.
Exhausting.
Yeah. Oh.
Kids, fuck, man.
You gotta carry the bodies around.
Get all the blood under your nails.
Yeah. Your manicure's ruined.
Yeah.
All over.
So
Don't look at my manicure. I've been killing people today.
Have you guys seen Eraserhead? Would you consider that a pregnancy type movie?
Absolutely.
That is the horror of parenting.
Actually, but it's amazing because it's like the dad perspective in the majority.
Yes.
So it's a completely different perspective.
And there are a lot of situations in day-to-day life where the mom completely abandons the kid and the father has to do it alone. And I think we see single fatherhood in there. And also, I don't know how common this is, but it did happen when I was pregnant. A lot of fathers get kind of an empathetic pregnancy where, like, my partner put on like 50 pounds of weight. He got crazy cravings. He would be crying. And sometimes, like, I'm like, dude, I'm the one who's pregnant. He'd be like, can you go get us some ice cream? I'm like, bitch, get it yourself. But yeah, I kind of saw that in Eraserhead. I was like, wow, you're over empathizing, buddy.
Yeah, it's kind of beautiful. God, I couldn't even imagine Ben doing that. That'd be hysterical. My giant of a husband crying.
They just mentioned it. Actually, I just started watching Castle Rock, and the young guard at Shawshank, he sees something horrific, and he blames it on empathizing with his partner's pregnancy. He's like, oh, I'm pregnant. Pregnancy brain.
Baby, being pregnant's hard.
I guess our main character is kind of thrown off into the deep end. I mean, he turns up and... Yes, hello. He's known this girl, I don't know how long, a couple weeks. He turns up to meet the family, and already he's about to be a dad with all the responsibility that entails. And you see the mother is quite frustrated. She can't handle being a mother, especially to this thing, whatever it is, some kind of sheep basilisk thing. They had a litter, and this was the ugly one they didn't want.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, I didn't even
I think it has something. It's what, sorry?
I was saying I didn't even think about the movie that way when I first watched it, but then talking about it in the context of pregnancy, I'm like, yeah. I
feel so bad for I know Emily doesn't have plans to have kids, and you can't have children, but Vicky, who potentially might have been looking forward to this, I feel like we're ruining this whole experience for her.
Don't let it ruin it for you, Vicky. I loved every single second of it. And I also suffered from postpartum depression as well.
Same
so
here.
but